What's up, y'all? Your boy is back. Guess what, y'all? I am coming back to your TV screen, your computer screen, or whatever goddamn screen you be watching me on. Make sure you subscribe to my channel at The Real KeonStafford. Cause baby, I got some old nasty exclusive content coming for y'all this year, baby. So make sure you catch me live weekly. That's 9 p.m. weekly, y'all. So hit that like, hit that share, and hit that subscribe button. All at The Real KeonStafford. And while you at it, follow me on all social platforms at The Real KeonStafford. Like I said again, your boy is back. So y'all know when y'all with me, we gonna laugh, cry, talk shit, and have some fun. So see y'all soon. Bye. Child, he get on, he cuts the fool. He talk real shit, bitch. We laugh, we cry, we have fun. They don't have no outlet, or they don't have no voice, or they don't have no one to confide in, so what's up? Let these people come on in. Let me stir my drink real quick. Get these people on in here. Lord. What's up, L. Jones? What's going on, niece? I am back. I know y'all missed me last Thursday. Me and Craig haven't been live on Thursdays. I canceled last week's Sunday show. So moving it forward to this week on Tuesday. Come on in. Hey, Aunt Tanya. What's going on? Why everybody coming on in? So for those who are watching already and seen me live the week before, I told y'all I finally did go to the P.O. box. So I did get some things that you guys sent in the P.O. box. So for those who sent things to the P.O. box, I thank you so much. For those who also want to send me things to the P.O. box, it's also scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Y'all know I post and promote always at the bottom of the screen. So my P.O. box is P.O. Box 190435, Atlanta, Georgia 31119. And for those who always send things through the Cash App, I appreciate it. Like I tell y'all every week, I could not do it without y'all. Y'all help pay for some of these lights, pay for this background, and change just the studio. So thank y'all so much. Because, baby, y'all know those who from the beginning, it was a little rough. It was rough at the beginning. But I am here. We're going on 2 years now. So elevation, I told y'all at the beginning of the year that we was going to elevate this year. We was going to have some different topics. I was going to bring some different people on here. So those things are still in the works. Y'all know I had a little trials and tribulations going on. I broke my leg. I wasn't able to walk. I wasn't able to twerk. I wasn't able to just be myself. So, bitch, I'm back. I tell them all the time, I'm back. I'm working. I'm here. So thank y'all for everybody, all my day ones. I appreciate y'all. My moderators, I appreciate y'all so much. Just everybody who just always love and show support. Also those who support Craig as well. Me and Craig on Thursdays. We will be live this week on Thursday. If this bitch don't flake again, y'all know life hit people. So we're gonna keep him uplifted and keep him in prayers with us. That bitch, she all right. So y'all should see us this week on Thursday. Tonight is going to be a good show. I am definitely looking forward to it. I have some amazing guys that have reached out to me. I reached out to them, and it's a topic that we always kind of don't talk about. People have things that have happened into their life, and it's some things that's always swept on the rug, some things people don't talk about. So tonight we're gonna do it all. Y'all always know, even to my commercials, I always say we're gonna laugh, cry, talk shit, and have fun. Everybody have their drinks. I have a co-host tonight, somebody who I know. We're friends for a couple of months. I know him, so he's gonna come on, and then also we're gonna bring on the rest of the guys for the panel. Y'all know if y'all have any questions, y'all know drop everything in the comment section, and we'll go from there. So, with that being said, Meet you ready? You ready? Come on, get yourself together. Come on, put your hands up, thumbs up, or something. Let me know that you're ready. Once you're ready, come on. Okay. All right. So let's get into it. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up, my boy? How we feeling?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. About time I can get you to come because bitch, you've been saying that you want to come on for a long time. So you finally here. What's up?
What's up with you? I'm on. I'm excited. I'm here to support you. I'm loving the topics. I'm loving to just get it going.
All right, all right. Before I let you introduce yourself, for those who are watching, y'all always know, drop y'all drinks, drop y'all shot emojis, because baby, we gonna have a good time tonight. I see Wayne is in here. Wayne to drop tears. D Wells is in here. D Wells to drop tears. Kayla to drop hers. So y'all drop y'all drinks, drop y'all cups, we toast, and on to a good show. So Meech, introduce yourself. Let the people know where they can follow you. Let them know a little bit about you before we actually get into it. My co-host tonight. So the floor is yours.
Absolutely. Well, appreciate you inviting me on, even though you capping about how long it's been taking me to get on. But yeah, my name is Meech. But a lot of people call me King Meechy. I'm originally from Columbus, Ohio. I've been living in Atlanta for 7 months. So one of the people I first met when I got here is my boy Keon. And he always have good conversation. And I'm a conversationalist, I think. So I love to come on and have a good combo, a good little moment and see what is going on. You can follow me on Instagram, the #1 King_Meech, or on Facebook, Meech Jefferson. So yeah, we here.
Okay. Well, once again, welcome. Okay, I'll see y'all. Pepper Jack, Hazel dropping the drinks. All right, what y'all drinking tonight? For those in the comment sections.
Sure.
Once I bring everybody on, y'all know y'all can always ask questions in the comment section. Tonight is gonna be interesting. It's gonna be fun. And we just gonna go from there. Meet. So I'm gonna start off with you a little bit. So tell me a little bit about some of your trauma that you have experienced into your life, or what you want to hit on for as trauma.
Yeah, I think for me, the most traumatic experience have just been, growing up, the disconnect between me and my parents.
Okay.
Some of the traumas I've experienced of younger, when I was like 18 to 22, those relationships were very trauma based. A lot
Okay.
of us were coming into those relationships, fresh out of our parents' house. So we was fresh with trauma leaving for our first time out in the big world. So a lot of my traumas is based around that. And all the time I'm seeing them manifest in my current life. And
Okay.
I'm actively, proactively working to reduce and eliminate those traumas as the days go on.
Okay. Most definitely, most definitely. I don't want you to give too much. I want to bring everybody on. So Kay, you're gonna be the next person that come on. I'm gonna bring you on, and then we'll go on to the next person. Okay. All right. So welcome. Hey Kay,
What's
how are
going
you?
on? What's going
What's
on? What's
happening?
going on?
What's up?
How's it going? What's
I'm
up?
good. I'm good. You finally got on. I can't wait to be on your platform as well. So
Yes.
Absolutely.
we're gonna
Yeah, we're
put
gonna
some
make it
things in the
happen.
making. You all the way on the other
Yeah,
side of the world, but
I am. I am. I'm trying to come y'all way though. I really am. I'm trying to be on
Ooh,
that
pull
side
up.
of the world.
we
I'm trying
full.
to.
We are full.
I
Don't come to
know, but no,
Atlanta.
y'all. I'm a squiggly and it's somewhere some
Look,
squiggle marks
We full for
somewhere.
residents. We like visitors.
let me tell you, it's getting so bad here. Let me tell you something. They done knocked down all our clubs. We only got probably about 2 clubs to go to. They written out all these different
See,
buildings. They putting up
I
high rises
wait.
everywhere. So please don't come here. We are full. We are full. We're gonna try to migrate your way. We're gonna try to migrate your way. Okay.
It's
West
too high
Coast.
out here. It's too high. Y'all not ready for this living out here. It's too high.
How's the weather?
Yeah. The weather is good. It's hot right now, and then I live in the city, San Francisco, so it's a little chilly at
Hmm.
times, but the weather's cool. It's cool. It's not always sunshine and palm trees like everybody try to make it, but
Okay.
it's good.
Look, one day we're gonna have to kind of come out that way. I do want to go to LA, so that's on my bucket list. I've never been to LA, so
Okay.
I do want to go to
Okay.
LA. So I'm gonna come out that way
Yeah, let's go.
sometime in my life. Let everybody know what
All
your
right.
name, where they can follow you at, how could they subscribe to your channel, X, Y, and Z.
For sure. All right, y'all. What's up? So this is your boy K. You can follow me on platforms, Conversation with K, and that's conversation with a K, not a C. So that's YouTube, that is Instagram, and on Facebook, it's K Hill. So that's where I'm at right now, and pretty much I'm just doing my thing. I'm not gonna get too much into it because I know you got some questions for me, so all of that'll come out. But you can follow me on that platform, and remember that's Conversation with a K, not a C.
All right. AJ, you ready? He like, I need you to get yourself together, sir. Put a thumbs up when you're ready, okay? All right, he said he ready. What's going on,
What's
AJ?
What's good?
Welcome.
You kind of
Chilling.
freezing
What's
up
up?
just a little bit.
Oh, my fault. Hold up.
You got a slight delay.
My fault. It must be my Wi-Fi.
Go ahead. We're gonna roll with it. Go ahead and let everybody know where you're
Alright.
from, how they can find you, your name, X, Y, and Z.
I'm hailing originally from Hampton, Virginia. I've been here about 5 months now. You can follow me at jizzy.nye on Instagram, AJ Jones Jr. on Facebook. And I'll also do these like uplifting videos on Facebook as well. I kind of tapped out last year, but I'm trying to get back into it. Where I just give people encouraging words, trying to uplift them because everybody is going through a difficult time or whatever. So I just try to do that in my spare time. But other than that, I'm just calm, cool, and collect. I'm just glad to be in the A.
All right, good. Zaddy, you ready? What's going on?
What's up?
What's up? Child, welcome back to the show. You came on a couple of months ago. Bless the platform. So thank you again for coming on. I always love to see people return back. We have a good bond or whatever. So introduce yourself, let the people know where they can find you at. X, Y, and Z. Give it to them.
How y'all doing? My name is Zaddy Corvinus. I go by the name of Zaddy Corvinus. That's not what my mama named me. But I'm an adult entertainer. You can go find me on Instagram at Zaddy Corvinus X, Twitter, Zaddy Corvinus XX, TikTok, Zaddy Corvinus. Yeah. What's that?
Child, you ain't got no Facebook.
Facebook, Zaddy Corvinus. It's all Zaddy Corvinus. As a matter of fact, if you want to find me, just put me in Google and everything will pop up.
Some of the stuff they may not want to see. some of these people are PG-13.
The good thing about it is on Google, it got
it's filtered. It's filtered going down. It's filtered. All right, Nick, you ready? All right, and the last person will be joining us tonight will be Nick. Nick, go ahead and introduce yourself and let the people know how they can find you.
Okay, what's up, y'all? So my name is Nick. As you can know by my name, Nick Fit 504. You can follow me on Instagram, Nick Fit 504. TikTok, same thing, Nick Fit 504. So all platforms, Nick Fit 504. So yeah, I'm originally from New Orleans. I've been here in Atlanta for quite some time. So yeah, and thank you for this opportunity. I'm really excited to go more in depth about this story. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So I would tell y'all once again, if you guys are talking and you feel yourself about to, because different things touch different people certain ways. So if you feel yourself about to break down, that is okay. You won't be the first nor the last person. Everybody has, like I said, trauma. Everybody is setting up different things for healing. And then also too, some of us have definitely accountability for different things that have happened in our lives. So like I said, if you guys feel yourself about to break down, if you feel like you about to choke up, it is okay. We'll get you through it. We here to help each other. Just kind of push through or whatever. People that are watching have kind of been through some of the similar things, if not the same thing that each one of us or each one of y'all have been through. So you think that you're the only person, but you're not really the only person. Everybody has something that they have been through. And us as in people, we like to sweep things under the rug. We like to pray about it, think prayer is just gonna change things, X, Y, and Z, and that's not always the case. We still have things that lingers on in the back of our brain, in our head. Sometimes we just learn how to cope with it and deal with it. That don't mean it has went away, but we just learn how to cope with it. So let's get started. So I'm gonna actually start with you, Kay. Tell us about your trauma what was the most traumatic event, or what has happened to you to make you just say, no, what, I need to let this out?
Well, I've had a lot, honestly, that has happened to me when it revolves around this word trauma. And on my YouTube page, y'all can go subscribe to and see my documentary, 29 and Counting. I talk about a highlight of trauma that I've just experienced. But I think the biggest one that I still struggle with day to day, every day, is losing my mom at 5 months. She was shot and killed at 16 years old. And so I lost my mother at 5 months. So growing up in a world without, a mother was really, really hard. And then a father where, I'm going to be honest with you, we just didn't have the greatest relationship until I was about 28. And then, unfortunately, when I was 28, things took a turn. And now my dad is, sitting somewhere, is facing some time and started looking at some things that just, it's crazy. So I think losing my mom and now potentially, having to deal with the fact that I could be losing my dad for some very long time. The loss of parents. And once that climax hit, the next thing was religion, because I was very deeply involved in my religion. And me coming out at the age of 28, it didn't really link up so well with my religion. And so I think us as a culture and a community, for sure, we know religion and gay don't even match. And, them churches, they don't even want to have nothing to do with it. So those are my biggest traumas that I'm dealing with and trying to bring conversation to and bring healing and awareness to.
Okay, most definitely. How did you get this far? What helped you cope with this? Like, how did you get to from day one up until now?
First and foremost, it was really God. I mean, you put faith into religion of what you've been taught. And honestly, a real relationship doesn't really cultivate until tragedy and all of these things happen. And then you realize that you don't need a 4-wall building anymore to put in the place of, oh, I know God. No, I know him for real because it's been only him that could really get me out of this. And after him, I would say it would be my grandmother that stepped in at 5 months and said, you know what, I'm going to do the job, and loved me unconditionally and did her best. And then where I'm at now, that's helping me get through the phase that I'm in now, is my fiance that I'm engaged to. And just his support just took it, thank you, to a whole nother level. So it was just those stages. Without God, without my grandmother, and where I'm at now at 32, without my fiance, I couldn't have made it without them. And so that's how I'm getting through. And therapy, for real, something that the culture don't talk about. But
and you know what, I actually talked about that, not to cut you off, but I actually talked about that like 2 weeks ago. We're taught, or like you said, pray about it. We never talk about, going to counseling. We never talk about therapy. Those type of things in our culture really you don't really hear people say that as much. Like, I'm finna go to therapy. I thought it would make you seem weak. Actually trying to, but you actually going to get help. So I actually went to counseling the end of last year, coming into this year, just with just different things that I have dealt with over the course of 2 years, really. When you said you lost your mom at 5 months, I couldn't imagine going my whole life without not having my mom. Hell, this is just year number 2 without my mom, and I still choke up. Like the other day, I was just driving, I just bust out and start crying. I'm like, damn, what the fuck? What's going on? So I can't imagine just having to go through my whole life without my mom. You know what I'm saying? So kudos to you on that. I definitely will get back to you and kind of pretty much ask you some more questions. Nick, I'm gonna bounce over to you. We kind of pretty much talked, I know background pretty much about everybody. But just tell the viewers that are watching, your trauma, what happened. Let's go with you.
All right. So I'm 29. For those that don't know, I've been literally, I can count on one hand how many relationships that I've been in. I know everybody can't really say that, but truthfully, I've been in literally, I can count on one hand. And this particular person, and I'm just going to be transparent, because one thing about me is that with my story speaks volumes, and I want to be able to let everybody know that it's okay to go through trauma, because you learn from these things that makes you stronger. But an ex of mine, about 2 years ago, well, a year and some change ago, we were together for about 10 months. So if we know in the gay community, 10 months is not a long time, but when we're in our community, 10 months is like, okay, that's some stability there.
That's 20 years.
A lot of people don't really, right, because a lot of people don't really make it. I mean, you meet somebody and then you're together for like 2 weeks to 3 weeks, and then you guys move on.
Mm-hmm.
So it was 10 months, and I started to really grow feelings for this person. Like I genuinely did love this person. And I started seeing red flags, but initially we look at red flags as, oh, maybe this is just something that will change over time. Mm-hmm. But in actuality, it wasn't like that. I saw a lot of these flags were like throughout the entire relationship. And I just kind of skipped over it. And then what started to happen was this person would do things for me, and I'm looking at it as it being genuine. But really, the things they were doing for me were not genuine. They were doing these things because it was a sense of control.
Okay.
And for me, I looked at it as, like, oh, this is so sweet. But then it came back to really bite me in the ass initially, because they threw it back in my face. They were like, oh, you remember when I did X, Y, and Z for you? But I'm like, if these things were done genuinely, so you say, then why is it thrown back in my face? So I dealt with that for like the first 6 months. And not to mention, they were also DL as well. So they were 37 years old. They were DL, big into church, handsome guy.
Oh.
They were super duper manipulative to me. So manipulative, controlling, needed to know all of my whereabouts. And for me, when I'm in a relationship, there's no gray area. That comes with my sign too. I'm an Aquarius. So either we're all in or we're all not. There's no gray area with my sign, and especially not with me. So he needs to know all of my whereabouts. He wanted to see my phone all the time. He would just do all these things that I just feel like, why? Like, and then every time I would show you my phone, I would tell you my whereabouts, it isn't good enough. He was trying to find something. But the crazy thing was, in actuality, they were actually doing their own shit. Like they were doing their own shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I caught them one night because I have a discernment too. I don't really tell everybody that, but that's something that I really want the world to know about me is that I have a huge discernment that that's a gift that I need to continue to hold that close to me because that's a gift that God gave me. And the whole time I was like, Nick, check his phone. So it was one night that he was sleeping, had his phone face down. So something said, check his phone. So I checked his phone and lo and behold, he had Jacked. So for all those that don't know what Jacked is a gay social media. I mean, is a gay app that gay people can use if you're not big into going out or you don't feel comfortable going out. They use this app to connect and talk to different people. So with that being said, he had Jacked and I called him out on it. I was asking him, so, what is this about? And I reverted back to you. I always want to know my whereabouts, like what I'm doing, who am I texting? But in actuality, I wasn't doing anything. And he saw that and was just like, damn, he's not doing anything. I can't find him doing nothing. But so I said that to say that this trickled down to depression for me. I still suffer with depression now. I do see a therapist twice a week. Because what happened was this person made me feel that everything that I was doing was wrong. So it lowered my self-esteem. And I battle with that every day. I battle with depression every day. I don't talk about it because at the end of the day, I'm coping with it, but it is something that does linger with me. It does. Depression is a real thing. And I feel that people, I didn't know how depressed I was until I went to my therapist and she was just asking me questions and I don't really open up to everybody. So she was able to help me open up. And she pretty much she asked me, she was just like, so, that same thing I just said, I ran down the whole thing of how this relationship went. And she was like, have you ever had suicidal thoughts? And I told her, yes, multiple times, because this person has really made me feel that everything that I did and was doing was wrong. Like they had no empathy or sympathy for anything that I had going on. Nothing at all. So what happened was I have had suicidal thoughts before, not anymore, because I found different coping mechanisms to help me get through my life. Like I think more so about my family and the people that I have looking up to me. Like a lot of people that genuinely love me for me and love to see the growth and the elevation over the years, seeing my training stuff just progress. So I think about all that, and then I take that into consideration when I do have those suicidal thoughts. But I've had those thoughts quite a few times. So I want to just let everybody know out there that if you are suffering with if you're suffering with anything like depression or any mental illness, don't be afraid to go see a therapist. It doesn't make you crazy. That was a big thing for me too, is that everybody was like, oh my God, you're crazy. Like you're psychotic, like you're crazy.
And I'm Nick, I'm gonna pause you right there.
They thought that I was just using this as a club.
I'm gonna pause you right there, Nick. I'm sorry to cut you. I'm gonna pause you right there. You said something I was saying that too earlier. Once you are getting ready to move on, or once you get ready, or once you sniff the bullshit, you start to be crazy. You start to be all these type of things. So you hit something there. You hit something right there. But I'm glad that you were able, like you said, able to go see therapy. You was able to go get some help, because I'm pretty sure the next person you get into a real serious relationship with, you'll know how to go about it a different way now. Okay, so Meech actually, for those he coming back on right now. Meech actually had a power outage in his area. Y'all know, for those who stay in Atlanta, y'all know it's crazy weather out here. So welcome back, Meech.
Appreciate it.
Everybody was just kind of
Welcome,
pretty much sending trauma.
Appreciate it, fellas.
So we're gonna jump over to Daddy over there. We're gonna jump to him. Tell us about your trauma, and we'll go from there. And then after that, we'll once he kind of get to a stopping point, the floor is open if you guys want to ask any questions. Meech, if you want to ask any questions, kind of catch up, we can do that as well. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, well, I'm to be honest, I'm really a trauma sandwich, just like layer. But I'm gonna talk about that. So the most traumatic experience for me. So and I talk about this all the time because it's my story. I'm adopted. I've been adopted since I was 3 years old. I was my biological mother was on drugs. So I was taken away from her. By the time I was 3, I was officially adopted. So the woman who took me out of the hospital at 10 days is who raised me, and that's my mother. The traumatic experience happened when I lived a pretty normal life. I grew up in the church just as well as I think Kay said. And I grew up a real traditional Pentecostal. So I know y'all church folks, y'all know it's a lot.
Yes.
But by the time I was 11, 12, I had a pretty normal life. Everything was pretty much normal, middle class family, whatever. My father ends up getting into this. He drove trucks. He got into this truck accident, and he broke his jaw. He could not work. For somebody who I grew up on a farm in South Carolina, for someone who my father, he's a not to put toxic masculinity this up, but he's a man's man. He likes to provide for his family. He likes to work. He likes to do. At that time, he could not. And mind you, this is me looking back on it now in retrospect, but obviously as a child, I'm not looking at it this way. But he then diverted all of that energy and anger into me. And he started to abuse me. And so with that, I developed this very, very nasty temper. Very nasty temper, very nasty attitude. It got to the point where I got kicked out of my middle school. I got sent to one group home, got kicked out of that group home, got sent to another group home. By the time I came back from that second group home, I was a beast. And so when I got back, my daddy wasn't seeing me because we're going hand for hand now, like this. So I ended up, the very last time he put his hands on me, I stabbed him in the shoulder with this very large knife. And to top that off, before I came back, when I went to my second group home, I was there for about 1.5 years. And at that point, they appointed me a therapist. They appointed me a weekly therapist session. And obviously you guys who grew up in this era, our parents, they sweep it on the rug, don't want to talk about it. Oh, what happens at home stays at home, all of that. So as I got to this session, this white lady asking me all these questions about what was going on in my house. Like, girl, mind your motherfucking business. Like, why are you asking me all these questions? But she would tell me, she said, well, okay, that's fine. We can just play Uno. Child, do y'all know I told this woman my whole life story, like in the next few weeks, just playing Uno. So when I finally started to talk about what was going on at home with my father, this is my first time ever verbalizing it to anyone. She asked me if I wanted to stay until I was 18. I'm like, absolutely fucking yes. And she said, well, we have to have a joint session with your mother first. And you know what I'm saying? Because she has to okay that. And I'm like, oh my God, please, girl. If my mama knew what I was telling y'all, she would like, no. We ended up having that session, whatever the case it is. And my mom flipped it. She said that I was trying to make her look bad in front of those white people. And then she told everybody who would listen back at home that I was lying about my father abusing me, that I was a liar, manipulator, and a conniver, and I would say anything to get my way. And that is, so me and my mother, from all of that, me and my mother had a very strained relationship, and me and my father had a very strained relationship. But that is the most traumatic thing for me. And I got here. I'm sorry, and I got to where I am now because we are not responsible for the traumas that have been placed on us, but we are responsible for our healing. So that's why I decided for myself that I wanted to be healed from these traumas, that I didn't want to go, what I'm saying? I didn't want to grow up angry and bitter and be a 40-year-old man still doing shit because daddy didn't love me correctly. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to. So that's why I'm very glad that you invited me to this panel, because it's a panel that's very, very important to me.
Okay, good,
Yes.
good, good.
Yeah.
I want to say hats off to you guys,
Yeah.
because you just looking at people, you never know what someone is going through. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
I will say this, what have opened my eyes to a lot of things, and not to take things for granted, is the field that I'm in now and the people that I deal with. It's kind of like it's education, but it's kind of like giving adults a second chance or whatever. So it just opened my eyes to a whole another light, like a door opened that was just like wow. Like, you know, I cry and I be down about just little different things or whatever, but if you look at, we're very fortunate, you know what I'm saying? And just like to look at different people, you just never know what somebody have been through. You never know what somebody is holding in. So that's why it was good, just to have this panel too, just to bring different lights to certain things. And I'm a person about like positivity. I love talking with people. I love just like kind of helping, you know what I'm saying? So that's what
Yeah.
I like about my channel. It's not all about just, you know, we get on here, we turn up, we be ratchet a little bit, but it's something that everybody can really just learn and heal from. Like, because you never know, just about talking about certain things, like you're helping somebody who are just going to watch the playbacks, who are watching now, who have been through the same thing that you have been through. So it's just different. But I'm gonna give the floor to Meech. Meech, you got any questions? You want to ask anybody? You want to bring anything to the show? I'm gonna get the floor to you.
Did Jizzy go?
I'm gonna
Yeah, I
get
was
to
gonna say that. I don't.
look.
Oh,
I ain't forget you, AJ. I did not forget you. I did not forget you. I'm giving it to
Okay.
because we have touched on a lot of different things. So AJ, I'm coming to you next. I haven't forgot about you. I promise you, I haven't.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. I apologize to the viewers and to the panelists, my co-host here, guys. That we had the little technical problems, but I'm always interested when we're talking about healing, trauma, accountability. How do we heal in real time? Life moves so fast, and there's so many things and so many pressures that we experience on a day-to-day basis, especially with us being Black gay men. We're gay, we're Black, we're men. Those are three separate experiences. So I just want to know if anybody wants to shout out, how do they heal, and what does their support system look like for when they're experiencing something traumatic and they still have to get up the next day and go to work and go to your job and go to your relationship? Or how does that in real time look like for you?
I feel like the most important thing is you have to want to be healed. You have to want it, because a lot of people have had many opportunities to be healed, but they didn't take it, because a lot of these experiences they will use them as crutches. One thing that I put, again, I wanted it. I'm speaking from my own experience. I wanted to be healed. So I wanted to, I would not allow myself. That's why I hate excuses. I would not allow myself to allow my traumas to become my crutch, or to enable me to be a shitty person, to do shitty ways. No, if I felt like, okay, you know what, this is holding in me. I didn't sit down and no one told me this. This is because I wanted to do better. I sat and I paid attention to myself. I self-reflected, and I'm like, you know what, you little girl, why are you so angry? Like, why are you so bitter? Like, what's going on with you? And so, yeah, at the end of the day, I decided that I was not content with those ways. I wasn't content with those ways. That's not how I was raised. That's not the person that I know God would want me to be. So I'm like, no, I'm going to do the work to make sure that, yes, I have traumas, but I want to be actively dealing with my traumas, and not wear my traumas on my sleeve and as a crutch to just enable me and to use as a scapegoat to do what the fuck I want to do.
Period.
Right.
Absolutely. I love that.
Mhm.
Keon, we got time for me to ask another question?
Let Nick talk, and we're gonna jump to AJ, and
Okay.
then we'll come back to you.
Okay, so I wanted to just piggyback off what Zaddy said. So yes, I think the first thing for me is, I think, acknowledging the fact that the trauma is real.
Right.
For me,
Yes.
acknowledging it and then having a plan of action. So for me, like how Zaddy said about, he didn't want that to he didn't want to keep everything that he had dealt with inside. He wanted to put it out, like acknowledging it, and then like finding ways to get through it. So that was me, like having a plan of action, like being like, okay, so this is what you have, but this shouldn't hold you back from doing A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So for me, I just did things that I love to do, which is working out, hanging out with my friends, like journaling, writing. I think writing what was in my brain out on paper, regardless if it was just gibberish, like writing it out so that I can like physically see what it is I'm going through, and then just working that, like writing it, and like I would journal every single day. So I think, yeah, that's pretty much it. Just acknowledging it and then just having a plan of action of how you're going to change was crucial for me. So
good. So AJ, I want you to think I forgot about you. So we're gonna jump over to AJ.
You
Tell us about your trauma that you have, your traumatic experience of life. What happened?
So my most traumatic experience was I was molested sexually from the age of 5 to 12. And I did not know that I was molested until like later on down the line. I was in the military and I got into this relationship or whatever. And certain things I would have flashbacks and this, that, and the third, like, oh my God, don't touch me this way, or don't do this, or don't do that. So in order for me to get over the trauma, I had to realize I had to tell somebody. And I remember talking to my dad's girlfriend at the time, and I was like, I got something I gotta tell you. And she was like, what? I was like, I was molested. And she was like, well, why would you come to me with this information? I'm like, because my dad, I don't know if I can tell him, and I don't know if I can tell my mom. You're just that medium person that I could possibly tell. So then she gave the phone to my dad, and my dad was like, well, why didn't you tell me, when you was younger? And I was like, when you're young, you don't feel like, how can I put it? You think it's normal in a sense because that it happens so often. You feel as though it's normal because you're young, you're being exposed to it day in and day out. So you feel like it's normal until you go to school and you go to sex ed class and you watch a course law or that's for you. Then you realize, oh shit, it's not normal. So I told him and then I told my mom. My mom kind of broke down because she was like, well, I was putting you in this situation. But not to go back, it was times when my mom would take me to the babysitter that was a mutual friend of the family or whatever. And I would kick and I would scream because I didn't want to go over there because her son would do these things to me. And she didn't understand it. And when I got older, I took accountability because it's like, this is probably why my relationships are not flourishing the way that I need them to. Because in the back of my mind, I'm still holding on to these traumas. So what I did was I ended up going to therapy the end of 2020. And then in the midst of me trying to get better, my grandma passes away the day before my birthday. So that kind of added an extra layer on top of what I've already was dealing with. My relationship failed. Then my grandma passes away. Then I'm like, oh my God, why the fuck did I decide to go to therapy at this time? But it helped because I say this not to be funny, but my grandma passing kind of helped me get over my past relationship. And on top of that, it helped me get over the trauma, so to speak, because I'm dealing with helping family get over the loss and I'm dealing with it. I'm going through therapy and now I feel like I'm better. I self-reflected. I haven't been in a relationship for 2 years, solely to focus on me, to get back to me, to get back where, because I really didn't know myself in my 20s. And so now I feel like now that I'm about to be 30, I need to figure out who I am and who I want to be. So I'm comfortable in the skin that I am now. But yeah, that's about generally it as far as my trauma goes.
Before we jump back over to Meech, I love, and I say, and I listen to everybody. I love the fact that everybody have said what they wanted to change. Like, y'all, each and everybody that's been on here, neither one of y'all has said, like, y'all haven't let it hold you down. Like, everybody have said, like, I wanted to change. I didn't want this to affect me in some type of way. I didn't want this to do this. And I really do appreciate that. And I love that. But until you got to that point, it has affected you in some type of way. You get what I'm saying? Like you go on and you don't know. Sometimes you have an attitude for no reason, and you be like, "Well, damn, bitch, what the fuck wrong with you?" Like you woke up good. You just have an attitude for a reason. And I'm a type of person. I'm not sure about y'all, but I'm a type of person. I Google my dreams. Like if something happened or if I don't understand something, I'm jumping. I'm trying to figure out my dream because your dreams tell you a lot. Whether people understand it or not, your dreams tell you a lot. And then on top of that, I'm a type of person. If I feel a certain way or if I feel a vibe from a person, 9 times out of 10, I'm right. Like I'm an energy person. I don't mix well with certain energies or whatever, like, and I feel like people be like, "Oh, I can't be around the energy," and then I feel it. Like I'm the type of person, like I'll tell one of my friends, and I'm like, "Don't trust that bitch. I'll tell it's not wrong," and they're like, "No, they good," and then later,
I'm with you because that spirit discernment is on 100. No cap.
Look, like, oh my God, I can't trust
cap.
Yeah, right. But I when you have that, and Nick spoke on it on a different level, but when you have that, you spoke about it on your relationship, but when you have that discernment, like it's just like you can't, that's a gift. Like nobody can take that away from you. And it's just like, oh my God, like everybody have it on a certain type of level. But my level is when I'm messing with people, and no matter how many people may know me, no matter how all these are friends or associates that I have or whatever, it's just like when I feel it, it's just like, I don't care if I've been friends with you for 20 plus years, I will cut your ass off. I used to tell everybody all the time, if I can stop talking to my mama, I can stop talking to anybody on this earth. I say that
all the time.
And
oh my God.
I love my mama. I love my mama to that, but we all, and you know, people don't like to talk about this too, but we all have had a dark space with our parents. Especially a lot of people have had a dark space with just coming out. Unfortunately, not gonna say unfortunately, I was grateful to have parents who accepted me when I did come out, so I didn't have to go through that part or whatever. If they did, they kind of had it on their own, but I had a support system for that. My thing was with my parents was, I think for them was for me to get older, to see me just grow up in front of their eyes. Like I was like, I'm not a baby no more. Like you can't treat me that way. You know what I'm saying? So it's just more so like just standing up for myself. But other than that, I appreciate y'all. Like y'all just don't understand. I see people comment in the comment section. For those in the comment sections, for those who are watching, if you guys want to ask any questions to anybody that's on the panel, you can definitely ask it. If you guys want to ask each other questions, if y'all want to ask me questions, I'm open. Everybody on the panel is open. So it's just crazy. It's crazy. But back to go ahead, Kay.
I just wanted to say, because when Meech made a comment, I also kind of feel like healing is really never ending. Because for me speaking, losing my mom at 5 months, that is something I'm still dealing with at the age of 32. Going through the religion and dealing with hurt and trying to, relationship with that, I'm still dealing with that. But I think, like you guys all said, is knowing the accountability of saying, like, I don't want to feel like this no more, and I have to take that accountability as knowing that I put certain people on these pedestals that they don't even have the mindset of what I'm expecting out of them. So I have to understand with myself, like, yeah, I'm looking for a mother, and yeah, I'm yearning for the father, and yeah, I'm yearning for all of this. But if I'm putting these people on these pedestals, it's not their job per se to say that they're supposed to meet these needs. I have to find it within myself and do the work within myself and know that, yeah, God took my mother for a reason. And yeah, this walk is going to be a little rough, but I got to stand in that and walk in that and find the healing in that, because you're not going to find it in the lady that you call mom every day or that auntie that you want to look to you as the mom, because at the end of the day, they got their own kids. So they have to go and take care of their responsibilities. So really, who is my mom? That's the strength that I find every day, saying, I'm going to get up, I'm going to make her proud, I'm going to make her happy, I'm going to do this. I'm motivated by that now, more so than using it, like you said, as a crutch. So I had to add that in there because it's a journey.
I want to piggyback on what you're saying, because I say this a lot. I say this a lot. I completely agree with you as far as healing is a never ending process, right? So us dealing with our traumas is a never ending thing. I always say, like, when I'm talking about dating or getting to know someone, I always use this analogy. I want you to come in with your trauma unpacked, and you folding it up, or you putting it up, or you hanging it up, or you doing that. Don't have your suitcase of trauma in the closet under the Christmas tree with dust on top of it. You know what I'm saying? Because you just trying to push it on out there and not deal with it. Now everything, all of these traumas that you have experienced. Some traumas a lot. The problem is a lot of people don't even know they're traumatized. That's the gag. That's the gag. But don't come into my life. Don't come into my situation. Don't come into my situation. And I'm sitting here working on my traumas, and I can actively see your traumas manifesting in how you're acting, how you're talking to me, how you're communicating, but you don't feel like you're traumatized, so you don't see what I'm seeing. Right. So that's a big issue.
Accountability. Yeah.
I love that.
I like that. You said a word there.
No, you did.
You said a word there.
I tell you, this is my favorite topic.
You touched me. Woo. Okay.
You said the word there. Kay just touched me when he was just talking about like what you touched me on. Who, Lord? Woo! You touched me when you said the fact that you lost your mom at 5 months, and like you said, like you can find these different moms or these different aunties or whatever, but it's still that missing void. Like it's still that missing void or whatever.
They're not that person. Yeah.
What touched me was, it's just like, because I was just saying this the other day, I was telling you, it was Friday. I was driving home, driving to get my haircut, and I just started crying. Like, I was like, damn, bitch, why you crying? But it was just like, I have a mother-in-law, I have a godmom, I have my actual grandmother that is here. And it's just like, these people who are really close to me, I still miss that void. Like, I still have that void. It's still like it's a hole there. So I couldn't imagine. I was able to have my mama 26 years. So I wasn't able to, like you said, you're a 5 months. So I was able to have her for 26 years, but it was just like, Lord, why did you take her out the blue? Like it was just like, you didn't prepare me for this. It was something that just happened, that you just snatched her out the blue from me. Whether for you only know pictures, or you only know what somebody have taught you, or what somebody have told you. So I can't imagine your missing connection, because I was able to have a connection with mine. So it's just like, the only thing you may have is from birth. Like, I always tell people, it's that bonding time when you're in your mom's womb, etc. That's what you probably have growing up, but you don't have that. So when you said that, the last piece that you said, it touched me. It touched me. You hit me there.
It touched me as well. Obviously, I'm an adopted child. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I had a mother all my life. I had a mother. My mother loved me and raised me. And, before all the extra shit, this is my mother. Yeah. However, I still had that want to know my biological mother, even though, it's funny because we would talk now, and we just found my younger brother, and he just turned 18. And I told her, I said, well, damn, girl, I ain't like you at 18. No shade. Like, I wasn't fucking with you for real. But I always had that longing to be. I didn't know them like that. You know what I'm saying? I had a pretty normal life, but I get what obviously my mother was taken away in a different circumstance. But I get you have a mother figure and a mother figure here and a mother figure here. But it's like, no, like, why I want her. Like, she's the one. That's the coochie I came out of. I want her. Right. And even now, when I go around my biological family, it's so strange, y'all. It's so strange because, again, I did not grow up with these people, but when I go around them, I just feel like I belong. I just feel like I belong. It's just like a feeling. It's just like, hey, that's my mama, that's my grandma, that's da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And sometimes I do feel a little guilty. Sometimes I do feel a little guilty, and I know I hurt my mom's feelings sometimes, because I always, anytime I go down, I go see her and I go see my biological mom. And, to her, it's like, oh, well, that's my baby, but, it makes me feel guilty sometimes that I want that connection that I was given. So it makes it almost seem like I'm unappreciative. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. I definitely. And
Yeah.
I battle. I'm gonna tell you what I battle with. I battle with I was blessed to have a stepfather, which I grew up calling him my dad my whole life. He got with my mom when I was probably 2 years old, and it's so crazy. I remember like he was the cable man. He came into the house, and I remember asking him like, "You like my mama?" Like I remember that like from a child growing up. I probably was about 3. And I remember that, but I still battle with like, even though I was blessed to have a real father figure, I had a dad that was in my life. Like I don't look at him as stepdad, like I look at him as dad. Or where in my real dad, what I struggle with is my real dad. He went to jail when my mom was pregnant with me. And now he's building a relation. He's trying to build a relationship with me, or we have like an up and down relationship. But I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. As a child, I feel like you should never lie to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? And a couple of years ago, I want to say a decade ago now, like maybe around 2012, 11, when I was like in high school, getting ready to graduate, he actually did something that actually was like, he lied. So it was just like, I didn't talk to him for years. Now, I always knew my biological siblings on his side. I knew my grandmother. It's crazy to say I look just like them people. But we built a bond. We did build a bond. So I felt you when you were saying, like, when you get around these people, you feel like, okay, this is home. But what I struggle with is like, now he called me from jail or whatever, and one day I do hopefully the laws have changed. I do actually hope to actually see him and hug him again, because last time I seen him I was like 5. But I have a struggle with saying, like, when he tell me he loved me, I can't say that. Like, those words would not come out for nothing. I cannot tell him I love you too. It's just like, okay, because I feel like another man has raised me, and that man have took your void. Like he have took everything. The only thing we have in connection is a last name, and you made me. Like, I always knew who you were. So I struggle with that. And today I thought about it because I was thinking about the panel tonight, and he called me earlier today. And he was just like, all right, son, love you. And I was like, okay, talk to you later. Like, I try to hurry up and like, okay, click, because I don't want to. And I know he haven't spoke on it, but I know he feels some type of way. Like, damn, my son don't tell me he love me, because it's just like, I have love for you from bringing me into this world because you brought me here. But I don't like, how can I tell you I love you if we never had that really connection, that bond? So I struggle with that as well. So when you were saying on your mom's tip, I felt you on my dad's tip for that. Now my stepdad, or my father rather, I love that nigga down. He's gonna come on the show. He's very supportive. He loves me. He embraces everything about me. Like, I get so mad sometimes. He be telling everybody, see my son gay. Like, he embraces that. He's like, my son has a better relationship than half of you heterosexuals or whatever. So it's just like, how do I deal with that? So I felt you on that part. The floor is yours, Meech. It's yours.
Oh man, how do I follow that up? Whew. How do I follow that up? I just want to, like, share a little bit, ask a little questions. I think everybody's experience remind me a lot of my experience. For me, my biggest trauma, if I can share, is about my parents as well. Like, one thing I've learned how to do is move on, but not let go. Like, when I was younger, I grew up in a very domestic violence household. So I'm about to be 34 in 2 weeks. I still wake up probably 1 or 2 nights out the month and wake up in a pure nervous. Like, I don't know if it's gunshots, I don't know if it's fighting, just because I still to this day remember waking up at 5 years old with a head going against the wall, or somebody being knocked down the steps, or somebody being stabbed. Like, that was a regular thing when I was a kid. So even as 30 years later, I still remember that. So, but one thing I always saw my parents do was fight, but I never saw them make up. So I think I've took that into like my friendships and my relationships. Like, I disconnect like this. Like, we have an argument. If I feel like it's reached beyond solving, it's done. So I'm always thinking about, how do people's traumas manifest in their real life now? Rather if it was 5 months ago, 5 years ago, or 25 years ago. And recently, obviously with moving to Atlanta and in the last couple of years, people always tell me, like, you seem very open, but you're very closed off. And that's not the way I view myself. I view myself as the actual opposite. So I'm wondering for you guys, have people ever told you your traumas, and how do they manifest in your everyday life?
My traumas manifest in my everyday life. Honestly, I feel like they're my superpowers, to be honest. I feel like I use them positively. Like I said, my mother, she took my truth, my story, and flipped it around to fit her narrative. So in my adult life, I do not allow that. I will not be silenced. I will articulate what I need to say. You will not change or push your narrative onto my own.
Right.
And that's not happening. And a lot of people that are so used to being able to manipulate, we clash very, 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 very easy.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to talk to me with micro and passive aggression. You're not. You're not going to do that to me. I've done it. You're not going to tell my story. You're not going to lie. Like, oh, girl, don't lie on me. You're not, because it's a trigger. It is a trigger. So yeah, no. So I think it's a positive thing though. But some people
I honestly agree with that. I think your traumas, if you're in the right headspace and you've done a lot of self work, can lead you to great things. I know for myself, like seeing my mom, depend on a man made me want to go to college. It made me want to get a good job. It made me want to be independent. But at the same time, it also made me nervous about relationships. It made me very skeptical of people. So, but I think, it's like you guys have all said, it's about accountability. But I think beyond accountability, just ownership, owning your story, owning your truth, owning your response to what has happened to you, and being fully accountable in whatever version you think that is. You know what I mean? You can't be responsible for what somebody did to you. But like you guys said, you're responsible for your reaction. But I think you're also responsible for how you help the next person. So for me, I use my traumas to speak out whenever I see something that's wrong, whenever I see a bad parenting, if I'm in Walmart, or if I see a kid being abused, or if I see a woman being chastised by a man. I'm always remembering those times when I was a kid and I didn't have a voice. So I use that now more because I couldn't use it then. So that's how my trauma kind of manifests itself. Like when I see some of my friends be in relationships and I'll be like, wow, you're really choosing that. And they'd be like, no, I'm just going through it. I'm like, no, you're choosing that. Because there's an alternative that you have, but you're choosing because you see who that could be, or you see yourself in the better view. But is that what it is right now?
And I always tell people, you do realize that and speaking of about accountability, we're also accountable. We also have to be accountable for the type of energy that we attract.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
we keep and maintain in our life.
Right. So, and I tell people, being attracted to toxicity is a toxic trait itself. I had to realize that I was used to that. I got into a relationship with someone who was completely different than me. When I tell you, I called my friends one day. I'm like, girl, I am bored. Like, I am bored. Like, why am I bored? But I was bored because we wasn't arguing. We wasn't fighting. It was no dysfunction. I was used to dysfunction. I was used to I was just used to chaos.
Normalized.
It took that for me to realize, like, well, damn. Okay, that's not anybody's fault. Look, this is where I am.
This is the norm.
Yes, I acknowledged it, and I'm like, you know what? This is what I want. I'm a little bored. Cool, true.
Happiness.
Peace. I'm happy.
But you know what?
Me and Keon talk about that all the time, don't we, Keon?
Me and Meech talk about that. But you know what? That is so true, because us in general, we tend to, if something is going so good, we have to fuck it up to get we have to put a little razzle dazzle in it to make it. Some shit can be,
like, girl, slap me.
We can ask for this special. We can ask for all these different things. We can like, oh my God, I want this person to come into my life. I want this job to come. I want just different things I want to come. But as soon as shit starts seeming too perfect, it scares us, because like you said, we're so used to shit crazy that we like, okay, wait, bitch, I'm bored. Hold on. Let me just argue with this nigga one time to see what we can get or what I can get.
I
In
think
a
also a lot
way,
of it is that sometimes we don't feel we're deserving of those good moments and those good
Yes.
experience and those long
Yes.
term. Like we go through so much
Absolutely.
trauma that the negative becomes normal. So when you go
Hell
outside the normal,
yeah.
you feel like, wait, what's happening now? I've learned to survive with getting the bare minimum from people. Now that
Right.
I'm happy and I'm successful, and we're traveling, we're making love on balconies, and we're doing all kind of great things that you're like, wow, this is not me, but that is your life. Take ownership of that. Like sometimes
Right.
we feel like we're less deserving because of what other people placed upon us, what our parents placed upon us, what our ex-boyfriends placed upon us, what our ex-best friends placed upon us. It starts to diminish our ability to see beyond what we've been experienced to,
Beyond what
what
we
we've
experience. Right.
experienced. So
Yes.
like that's one of the things I've always taken like this was for a reason. Like I went through that breakup, I lost that job, I had that accident. What did I gain that I can take to where I don't fall back again?
Mm.
And you have, but you have
Mm.
to be at a place of that. Like you have to be at a place to be able to understand what's happening in real time and how you can avoid those hiccups going forward.
Right.
I have a question
AJ,
because
for
you
I
the
look like you
panel.
had
tell,
something to say. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you
because I
speak.
tell everybody when you go through trauma, it leaves you with lessons to carry into another situation. So that way, that same trauma
Absolutely.
that you experience will not re-traumatize you again. So
Mhm.
therefore, whenever you see a situation or obstacle and you feel like, oh my God, why am I going through this again? Remember, you have a backpack with the necessary tools to get through it. Don't get so flustered or get so like, well, damn, why I keep going through this shit? Just take the tools and apply them to the
Yeah.
situation. You'll get through it. It may be difficult, but you'll get through it.
I think you learn the
Yeah.
most in those adverse situations. Like
Right.
I really didn't know that I was content on my own till I was on my own. Like away from home, away from family, away from exes, until I was on my own. I really didn't know the true pressure that I am. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know what was up.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah. And I
Very-
and earlier you said something, AJ, that it made me think because honestly, I think the greatest thing you can give yourself before you get into a place of trying to give yourself to somebody else and marriage and all that kind of stuff is doing the work within yourself. Because
Preach.
me being that I'm in a relationship, well, went from a relationship to now being engaged, there was a lot of work that I didn't do really within myself that I realized that, oh, this is trauma. But I came in kind of with the luggage to the side a little bit, and I didn't really unpack it all, and neither did my partner. We didn't really hang stuff up, you know. So you had two people that came into it, and that's why I'm so grateful for him in this part of the journey, because we're willing to do the work together. You know, when you have somebody
Yes.
that don't know their trauma and you don't really know yours, and y'all just don't really know each other's, y'all don't know where to go, and then it sometimes doesn't end up working. But the biggest thing that I can really say that I appreciate hearing from you earlier is that, you know, you're taking the time to do all the work in yourself, so when that person does come, you'll be really in a place where you'll be able to give that next chapter of your life your full self,
Amen.
and work that out. So that was big. That was big,
Yeah.
because that's something I'm working on, and every
We
day
should
we striving. And I'm grateful that we getting up and doing it every day. So
Yeah.
we
Can I
should
tell?
that
also
was
Can,
talk
big.
about sharing our trauma. A lot of I see a lot of us, especially in our community, be so like keep our trauma so inside that it just weighs us down day by day by day. We also have to do, you know, a better job or just a more consistent job of find those great support system and those great friends and those great
Mhm.
resources that allow us to
Mm.
unpack our trauma. Because a lot of us is just carrying that trauma and just
Right.
going through life, but you have to find people that allow you to let your hair down, allow you to see
Yeah.
you when you're not at your best dress, allow to see you when you ain't got the fresh cut, allow you to just be as you are and unpack that. Because once we unpack that, then the sky is the limit on what we can do with our lives. So
Yes.
And
I
also,
agree.
I,
I have
I
I
would
have
say
a
this. I have a a problem with well, two things, and it's bad. I mean, it's from things that happened in the past. Speaking of my dad, I didn't know. So y'all remember I was talking about my dad earlier. So my dad been watching the whole time, and I didn't know. So that's my dad actually, just right there, who I was talking about earlier. My
What's
one
up,
of
Pops?
my one of my things that I would say is that I have a problem with asking somebody for something like that, because I feel that if I ask you for something, that means whether if it's advice, whether if it's money, whether if it's just company, whether if it's just a shoulder to lean on, if I ask you for something, that means I really need it. And I have had in the past where people throw something back up in your face, and if you throw something back in my face, they make me want to fight you. Like I want to beat your ass, because it took me so much to build
To
up
get there.
Right.
and to get there. So when you throw it back up, it's sad to say, even in my relationship, like I know I have a supportive partner, but if I ask him for something like it, or if I have to, and it's sad, it's hard to say, but I'm like that. Like I don't ask somebody for nothing. Like I would go without, or I would just get it on my own. Like, so I struggle with that too, because it's just like I have a problem with, if you throw it back up in my face.
Is that really a struggle though?
Huh?
It's an insecurity.
It's really a struggle though. I feel like that's actually where my drive comes from. My drive comes from the fact that I know that if I fell short, that I have plenty of places to go. I have plenty of, my friends got cars, all my friends are successful. I know that. My drive comes from me telling myself, Dallas, that's my real name. Dallas, no one's gonna do it for you. You don't get no pity party. You need to get your ass up. Figure it the fuck out.
Right.
So I don't feel like it's a negative thing. You know what I'm saying? To want and have the desire to be self-sufficient, not just because, oh, I don't want nobody to throw stuff up at me, but at the end of the day, you and I know that when you get it on your own and you work things out, because a lot of our issues, a lot of problems in life are, if you literally sit down, calm down, let your anxiety go down, just relax. A lot of our issues are self-inflicted. A lot of our issues we can actually figure out if we just calm down, take a beat, take a second, because a lot of us are emotional. A lot of us react out of emotion.
Life is happening.
You calm down, you relax, and figure it out, and you know the feeling of, damn,
accomplishment.
I did that.
I totally agree.
So I don't think it's a terrible thing.
Yeah, but on the flip side to that is, and I say this too, I feel like this more so the bad side. Like I would put everybody else before, like I would give everybody else, or put everybody else, do things for people, or put like get them gifts, just put everybody's life before mine, and then I'll be the last person. So it's just like, because I'm so used to, and it's kind of a childhood trauma, like trying to be that, like you have I was the what my therapist said, I was the parental sibling. Rather, so with the parental sibling, that mean the parental sibling mean is, yes, we had our mom, we had our dad, but I also stepped in for mom and dad when mom and dad didn't have. You get what I'm saying? So it was like, okay, well, now I'm so used to, okay, now I have to put my children, I have to put my family, I have to put my friends, I have to cater to their needs just to make sure everyone is good. But then on the flip side, and I say this too all the time, I was like, well, damn, who gonna take care of me? Or when it's going to be my turn, you know what I'm saying? So
let me chime in.
I'm
gonna chime in after this.
Yeah, so I struggle with that. But go. I think Nick had something, and then go ahead, Meech. After Nick.
I kind of lost my train of thought now, but I lost it because I think when I was going to interject, I had the thought, but then. Yeah, it's okay. I'll think about it, and then All right,
it's okay. Back to you. Go ahead, Meech.
Yeah, I think with our parents, one of the things I've had to learn is to accept them for who they are. Like my mom had me at 17, my dad was 20, and like when you say parental sibling, I'm also parental sibling and parental child. Like I've one of my drives comes from their lack of education. You know what I mean? Like my dad never went past the 9th grade. My mom barely made it through high school. So there's a lot of things about life that they just don't know. And that made me want to get out and learn more and get it for myself, because I had to accept who they are. Even to this day, like whenever I have a question about a loan or a CDL or a business loan or just getting something in your name, I don't have them to go to. You know what I mean? So I get on the internet and make best of my resources. But one of the things that you said that I wanted to touch on is like when I was a kid, I never prayed. I never went outside and played with the other kids. So I always had myself to think about. So as I grew up, one of the things I took on, I don't know who said this, but I've always been my own star player. Like I am the most important person to myself outside of God. So when you say putting other people before yourself, I never knew how to do that because in my mind, I've always been all I had. I've been on my own since I was 16. So when people say, you know, like my brothers will call me for something for his daughter or my parents will need a loan for their mortgage or whatever, I'll be like, cool, because I know I got myself. But like I have to make sure I'm straight because if I'm not straight, then they ain't straight. If the whole family calls me because they need this or they need that, if I fall, then
I ain't
everybody
got it.
if I fall, everybody fall. So like
That part.
one thing that always stands out to me when my friends said they put other people before themselves, I always come back and challenge them and say, so what if you lost, God forbid, but what if you left this world today? What would the people that depend on you do?
Find an alternative.
Well,
So
I
think
want to say,
I think that's why it's important to be. You can depend on people, but not be codependent on people.
Right. And I think a lot of
then again,
that is true.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Kay.
Oh, I think a lot of things is because I feel like I'm like you, Keon. Like I feel like I give myself to a lot of people, and then it does have me hesitant to wanna, ask when I know I may be in need. But what I've had to realize on my journey sometimes is this is who God created me to be. And at the end of the day, even if I don't have nobody else to fall back on, if I do close my eyes, you're gonna have nothing nice to say but speak well of what I've did and what I've left on this earth. Yet and still, I may have felt like I didn't have nobody to connect with, but I left what I left, and that was my life and my legacy by my actions. So sometimes it is a hard thing and a hard walk to take in because that's just who he created you to be, and he's going to supply it every time that you need it for a way for it to come through. That's why it always happens. But sometimes you're not going to get it from people. You're going to have to really realize that everything is that you really need, and in the time of need, I found out it came from him. And
I love that, Kay. I love that because I'm in that
one
my
thing
life right now.
That's who you are. Own it.
I'm in that era of my life right now, making sure what's more important to me. You know, I just started my my nonprofit organization, and I like to go protest and support different things. And one of my friends asked me, well, you going out to support them? Would they support you? You going out to walk for them? Would they walk for you? And I told him, you know what? That's not my concern. My concern is fulfilling the purpose that God has put me on this earth for.
Exactly.
And I feel like every day, especially, I'm gonna be 30 on Saturday. But I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful that I have my eyes on the prize as far as I want my purpose to be fulfilled. That's what I'm focused. That's what I'm focused on. I'm not focused on the semantics. I'm not focused on those things because at the end of the day, I know that as long as I'm blessed, I'm going to be able to bless other people, and that's where I want to be. That's what my purpose is, and He's going to see me all the way fucking through.
Facts.
Doesn't it feel good to be at that place?
We'll always be there.
Yeah.
And
Go ahead, AJ.
I feel like that song Beyonce song
I was here.
ever so eloquently was I was here, because a lot of times we often feel like we don't matter to people. A lot of times we feel like we don't do enough for people, or people give us their ass to kiss, or if we can't they feel like, well, I'm not about to ask you for anything else. But they forget about all the good that you've done, all the seed that you've sown into them. So I feel like if I change one person's mind about something,
Come on.
if I change one person's outlook on something, if I just share my story and that helps them get across, then I felt like I was here. I done what I needed to do. It doesn't matter what the naysayers say about me. As long as I feel vindicated in myself, as long as I feel great and positive about myself, it's nothing that nobody could say about me, because evidently I was here.
That one person can go.
I was just about to say that song.
That
I
was so
was
true.
just about to
Beyonce
say,
said it
I
best.
live by that song. I Was Here by Beyonce. I live by that song because it's about leaving that type of legacy. And you're going to realize on this journey, you're going to have people that's going to use you, what you feel is useful, but you're not. They can't help because of what you've left and what you've said and done. It's in your footprints. It's in the work. So that was my
Absolutely.
song. I
Y'all
was
gonna
going to
make me
say
go
that.
listen to that song. Now, I ain't never heard that song. I'm gonna go.
I'm
Look,
telling
I'm gonna need you to go
The
catch up,
song is
Keon.
cute.
I do
The
have
song
a
is
question.
cute.
I do have a question for the panel, though, if I may.
go ahead.
How
Shoot.
many of you have so from what I hear, all of us our traumatic experiences have stemmed from our parents, right? Right. So how many of you guys have had that conversation with your parents?
Ooh.
Mm.
Whew.
And I just want
I've
to
had
I
a couple.
actually did.
I want to share
I was
to
28.
share my story really quick. It actually just happened last week.
Oh, fresh.
Mm.
Go ahead.
Yes. Oh my God. All right. So I'm not gonna get emotional.
And if you do, we right here.
So
we here.
Absolutely.
So
Let me
coming up,
pour
like
up
I
right
said,
now.
with all the things that happened with my father, with my mother, or whatever the case is, by the time I became an adult, by the time I was 18, again, I was a menace. I was a menace. I would literally, you tell me my shoes is ugly, I would punch you in your mouth. It was very bad. So when I moved to Atlanta, the one thing that has always stuck with me was my spirituality. You know what I'm saying? I love God. I love to worship. I love to praise. I love God. So anytime I moved or whatever the case is, every New Year's, I'm always in somebody's watch service. Like I'm always, bringing the New Year praying, or even if I'm not there, I'm outside praying into the New Year. So I end up coming to Atlanta. I find this church. So I start going to the church or whatever. Actually, my barber went to the church and he invited me there. So I went to the church and loved it. Loved the congregation, just the feel, everything. I felt accepted. My pastor at the time, she saw all of these things in me, all this anger in me. And it was, I remember it like it was yesterday. Oh God. It was this Mother's Day. And at the time, I was not speaking to my mother. I went a good year without speaking to my mother because I'm a firm believer in you don't get to treat me how you want to treat me just because you have this title in my life. No,
Period.
I will cut your ass off. Anybody. So don't believe, that's what I said. Keon said that earlier. Don't think for a second that I won't cut your motherfucking ass off too. Okay. So that particular, I wasn't talking to her, and that particular Mother's Day, after the service, we went out to eat. I'm in the back seat, and we on the interstate. I burst out crying. I'm just crying uncontrollably, could not stop. Pastor made the girl who's driving, made her pull over on the side of the interstate. And she got in the back seat with me. She put my head on her chest. She told me to cry. She told me to let it out. And she said, you need to talk. You need to call your mom. I end up calling my mother, whatever the case is. And as the conversation that me and my pastor had, she asked me an important question, actually. She asked me, she said, okay, she said, I know that you're looking for an apology. You're looking for acknowledgement of these things that has happened to you that you have never received. Now, what if you never get these apologies? What if? Just what if? Do you go through life angry and bitter, and you know what I'm saying? Do you become a 50-year-old man, like I said, still treating people shitty and being a shitty person because of these things or whatever the case is, or do you give it to God, you take it for what it is, and you move on and you just can actively deal with it? That was an important question for me at the time. So I called my mom. Things was cool. Last week, mind you, we have never had this conversation. Never. People have told me, oh, you might need to talk to your mom. I'm like, my mom and my daddy are not those type of people. I'm not about to sit down and tell them how, they're just not that type of people. So the conversation actually just came out of nowhere. We were talking, and we were talking about children. And I was like, I think she asked me when I was going to have kids or whatever. And I said, well, to be honest, Mom, I'm a little nervous to have kids. I was like, because I want to make sure that I'm healed before I bring life into the world, because I don't want to inadvertently transfer my trauma onto my kids like you did us. Now, she a black mama.
That last part.
Pentecostal mama. Oh,
she ain't did no wrong.
Girl, oh, I'm sorry. Your life is so
It's hard.
I'm sorry if I call anybody girl. I talk real ballroom sometimes.
We good.
But she's, oh well, I didn't think I'm sorry, your life was so bad. And I'm like, can you not do that? Like I'm not
Acknowledge what I
what I'm
said
saying.
first.
What I'm saying is, and what I was talking to her, what I'm saying is, I was like, you know what? I don't even blame you for the things that has happened in my childhood, because I blame the fact that you don't realize or didn't realize that you were and still are traumatized, baby. Your father shot your mother and killed himself. You got split up from your siblings and went to New Orleans, and your other siblings got here, and y'all have resentment in y'all adult lives. You don't even realize. That's what I'm saying. The inadvertent transference of that trauma. So
Manifesting trauma.
at that time, she was like, we was talking. She actually, and this was when y'all, it was so big. Well, I apologize. I apologize for, I feel like, back then I was just trying to keep my family together and my marriage is falling apart and all these things like that, right? I'm sitting there like, what the fuck is going on? What is going on? So I had to hang up on her to get my hair cut. I'm sweating. My barber asking me, you all right, bro? I was like, I've got a lot on my mind, baby. Just cut my hair. Because I was thinking, I'm like, okay, Dallas, should you be happy, or what are you feeling right now? Because I was feeling a lot of different things. Mm-hmm. What are you feeling right now? I wasn't prepared to have this conversation. It just happened out of nowhere. So I wasn't mentally or emotionally prepared for that. And so, but at the end of it, I'm like, you know what? No, Dallas, you're not going to self-sabotage this.
Right.
You are happy. You are happy. This is something that you thought would never fucking happen. Your mother just took a little slither, but she took some acknowledgement and apologized. Right? All right, y'all bear with me. So I called my sister. I'm happy. I'm like, okay, you're happy. I'm finna call my sister. We about to, okay, cool. My sister didn't answer my phone call. She texted me. She said, I'm on the phone with mama. I'm like, oh, okay. My sister calls me. She's like, well, what happened? I was like, wait, what do you mean? What do you mean what happened? What? She said, yeah, my mama called. She said, yeah, you told her you had to go to therapy because of her and da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'm talking about everything negative. Y'all, I cried so bad. Because I told my sister, I'm like, damn, I thought we had a breakthrough. I was happy. I had just was in a war with myself, debating if I should be happy or not. But I have decided I'm going to be happy. And to hear that she took that, came to you and gave it up in a whole different way. The only thing she heard out of that conversation was, you're a bad parent. You're a bad parent. You're a bad parent. Oh, you're bad. I never said these things, but again, this is what's going through her head. That's all she's hearing. Mm-hmm. And I cried so much. I would not stop. I had to, like, girl, I gotta go. I cried so much because I'm just like, damn, I thought that was a good experience, but it wasn't. And I had to talk to my older cousin, and she said, you know what? I feel like you should just take the apology. I think you should take what you took from it and run with it.
And run with it.
I am struggling with that a little bit right now because
maybe that's all she had to give.
Yeah, but it's also, I don't want you to take fake accountability. I don't want you to give me a fake apology. Right. I want to feel like these things are genuine. So I can't just accept this bullshit ass acknowledgement, bullshit ass accountability, and this bullshit ass apology because you didn't fucking mean it.
Yeah.
But you got to hold people accountable for how they treat you.
I think that I think that's it reminds me of experience, but I also think that like a lot of people's emotional capacity isn't as deep as ours. And I know from my mom, she's very cold. Like getting her to say please or thank you is a thing. So to apologize, I might feel like I just, hit the game winning shot by hearing an apology. So,
And to be honest, guys, it wasn't me being because of who she is. It's like, okay, it's not like, oh, this is a surprise that this has happened, but it was so disappointing. It was
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
extremely disappointing. It was so extremely disappointing. You ever had someone who is just a shitty motherfucker, and then they come around and
Yeah.
they like, oh, I'm
Baby,
like, oh, you're doing good, and then eventually they're like,
both
oh,
parents of mine. Both parents.
No, and I think people's extreme emotional, like you said, emotional
Capacity.
capacity is it runs deep. I think all of ours do, but our parents don't want to take that moment and take that layer and start to unpacking that stuff. Like our parents have taken the luggage, like you said earlier, and put it in the shelf, and they just got their luggage, and they're not dealing with their trauma at all. Unfortunately, when I was going through it with my dad, because that was the only parent I had around, we tried it. Like when I first hit about 23, and I tried to express to him, like, how I felt you wanted me to be this, and if I wasn't that, and then I wasn't the roughest son that you had, and you seen that I didn't want to do the football and all that, and he just didn't hear any of that. But he just felt like, oh, it's just all my fault. It's my fault. It's my fault. And I'm like, you're not hearing any of that. So at 23, I said, all right, I'm done. I had a
That
sperm
generation
donor,
don't comprehend well.
I had a sperm donor, but then years went by, and 28 came around, and I was getting ready to be 29, and I found a different, I had a different thought process. I'm like, okay, I'm getting closer to 30 at this point. What am I going to do? Am I going to take my dad for what he is and what he's given? Or am I going to try to give it another shot and have this conversation and see where we go? And if we can, evolve. But if not, I knew I was going into this and say, you know what? I'm just going to accept him. Whenever he's ready to deal with the stuff that he's been through, maybe we'll be good. But me, I'm going to just love him
Realistic
regardless.
expectation.
28 years, we sat down and we had the conversation, and I mean, honestly, I got it out. And the biggest thing that I got from that conversation was, he said, it was just so hard to look at you because all I thought about is your mom. So that let me know right there, his emotional baggage.
Yep.
He couldn't never deal with the fact that he lost the love of his life, just like I'm trying to cope with losing my mom and wonder why you're so standoffish from me. But at the same time, you not doing the work, so I gotta understand. Okay, I got it. He heard, and
The
that's what
sad
like
part
said,
is that didn't join y'all together closer. It made y'all
and
far
it did.
apart.
It really
That's
did.
the sad part.
At 28, it did. At 28, it
Oh,
did.
good.
Unfortunately, he was at the wrong place at the wrong time, and now he's being faced and charged with murder. And so now he's behind bars. But I'm glad that God gave me that, because us as Black men that are gay, we search for validations a lot from our parents,
I had
because
a question.
they either kicked us out or they didn't want to have nothing to do with us. And then religion was so serious to them. They was the next thing closest to God. So how dare they be wrong?
Hold your thought real quick. But he was actually leading into what I was just about to ask now. How was the coming out process for you guys? Just seeing, like, with your parents. I know we have ups and everybody was like, just traumas from their parents. I talked to you already while you over there like this, but I'm gonna let you talk. I'm gonna start with AJ, and then I'm gonna come to you, Nick. How was your coming out experience with your parents?
So I came out at 18. I was in the military. I was like, shit, fuck it. I'm grown. Y'all can't say shit to me. When I told my mom, I was like, child, I'm gonna call you back. And my dad was like, I kind of figured that, but I don't want to talk about it right now. He hung up the phone. So my mom ended up calling me back, and she was like, are you sure you gay, or is this just a phase? I was like, Mom, I've been new since middle school that I like men. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And she was like, well, I love you regardless, but I know your grandma and them ain't gonna be too keen, because they in the church. And I was like, yeah, I know. So when I told the rest of my family or whatever, they kind of ostracized me a little bit, and I stayed away from them 2012 all the way up until like the tail end of 2013. Like, I didn't talk to them. Like, when y'all say y'all can cut people off, I cut people off and not even talk to you, not even recognize that you're here. And so I went home. was like, "Oh, AJ, we miss you." I said, "Y'all didn't call, y'all didn't text. Like y'all knew I'm out here in Georgia or whatever, training for boot camp or whatever. Y'all didn't send me no letters. Y'all didn't give me no phone calls or whatever." And they was like, "Well, we heard the news that you know." I was like, "It's cool or whatever. I'm not going." But ever since my grandfather passed and my grandmother passed, me and my dad has gotten back close. Like we're like best friends now because honestly, we realize we're better together than we are apart, regardless of each other's lifestyles, regardless of yeah, like I'm the oldest, so I tend to keep the family, my immediate family, together when need be. And so he realized that, yeah, without you, a whole lot of stuff wouldn't get done. And I'm like, yeah, that's what you missed out on when you shut me out all those years.
Wow.
But I harbor no ill will because at the end of the day, you was raised a certain type of way and I was raised a certain type of way, but my mentality was far more deeper than yours. My acceptance was so far more farther than yours. So I realized it's not your fault that you was brought up super religious. It's just that you didn't know how to turn it off. And then you ostracize your child, and then you realize the errors of your ways and you apologize, and we moved on from it. But yeah, I mean, if I could have the acceptance that I have now back then, great. But I wouldn't change my story for the world though.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that. I love that. Congrats to you having now a relationship with your dad, and y'all
Live for the
actually.
breaking up generational change.
I love to hear that. Yeah,
We are definitely growing up in a different life than our parents did, for
Yes.
sure.
I'm
Absolutely.
so overjoyed, and I'm so hopeful for generation is it generation Z, like the generations under us and the generations under them, because now we are having panels just like this. You know what I'm saying? Our parents wasn't talking about
Yeah.
mental health and anxiety and depression and all that shit like
No.
that. Hell, they didn't have nobody to fucking talk to. You know,
But
grandma,
this is
girl,
Right.
go drink some
Or
Bud
know
Light
how to
and lay in the
talk.
bed.
Yeah. Go ahead, Nick. How was your story? What was your coming out?
Okay, so I think my story is a little bit different. I feel like I was one of those people that actually had a great support system coming out. It wasn't really bad for me. My mom was very accepting. And I also feel like when you have friends that you've kind of grew up with that are gay, you can kind of like you have a better understanding of that lifestyle. Now, to kind of like rewind a little bit, my stepdad doesn't really understand the lifestyle. And I feel like for me, you don't really understand the lifestyle unless you do some a little bit of research. Let's just be honest. Like men aren't really doing that. Straight men are not going to take the time to dive deep into that. Okay, my son's gay, so let me dive a little bit deeper into it so that I can have a better understanding of why he moves the way he does. Let's just be honest. Straight men aren't doing that. Straight men are like all they care about
fathers for sure.
Exactly. Like they care about straight things, you know. So my mom had her ex-best friend was 16 years was gay. So she knew I knew early on. I actually knew when I was in second grade. And it's so crazy that this guy that I actually like messed around with when I was in second grade is actually still my friend to this day. I know him. So it's kind of like ironic, but yeah. So he was the very first guy that I ever messed around with when I was in second grade. So, but I officially came out when I was in high school. I think that when I was like my sophomore year of high school, hormones got to running. You know, we all took PE. So in PE, you know, we're in the locker room, like, so I'm looking at all these guys, like I'm looking at dicks and ass, like, and I'm just like, oh my God, like, you know, so that kind of aroused me a little bit. So then I was like, okay, like this is a feeling that I have never felt before. It was like a sensation. So I was like, okay. And then messing around with a guy in second grade, like, so I just kind of put, you know, it just fit like a puzzle. So my mom, you know, the way she found out though, I kind of wish that if I could change anything, I would kind of change how she found out. It was kind of like I had a boyfriend that was in Pennsylvania. You know how we all love those long distance relationships. MySpace was a big thing back in the day.
Come on, MySpace.
So I gave my ex at
Top
the
8
time,
was popping.
Popping, yes. So I gave my ex at the time, like, you know how you get each other's passwords and they'll write like little cute little statuses on your acting like you, and they'll put like sign bail whatever at the very end of the post. So my mom so happily was like, let me see your password, because I don't remember what transpired, but I gave it a password obviously because I'm in middle school, so I'm like, whatever. I gave it a password, and she saw the first thing popped up was the status of the dude saying, I love you so much, and blah, 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 blah. So she was like, what is this about? So we sat down, and that's kind of was my coming out story. But again, she loved me the same way. I know everybody's parents aren't accepting. The mom sometimes, but my mom was very, very accepting. We're actually very, very close because of me being gay. Like, I can talk to my mom about any and everything. I dress my mom like she has style. Obviously, you know, I'll be at the mall like, oh, I think she would love this blouse for work. So our relationship has just gotten like this. It mended a lot. My dad, on the other hand, we don't talk about it. And I think that's how it's always going to be. But yeah, so my coming out story wasn't bad. I wouldn't trade it. But I think with my dad, I think that, you know, like I said, dads are very much so just like, well, why don't you like this? And they give you a whole list of why you should like this. And I'm just like, those are all the lists why I don't like it. But I can give you a list of why I like men, but we're not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's kind of
Right.
You're stepping on my toes and I can't step on your toes, because I can give you a whole list. I can write a book about why I like a man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'll be a girl's friend. We can go shopping. We can do all that. But I just feel like for me, it's just like, I like what I like. And it's just like, yeah. So.
Yeah, my coming out story, I won't go into it too depth because it's on my documentary 29 and Counting. But I came out at 28 years old, and I thought I had a supportive system around me because I was dealing with a very abusive relationship, and I was in a religion. And so I was venting to who I called at the time, my godparents, about this abusive relationship that I was in for years. And, you know, I'm in the church and everything. And coming out, really, I had a moment where it's, you know, for a long time in church, of course, we all know you're taught like gay is a sin. So I was on the prayer line trying to get God to deliver me. I mean, I'm up at 5, 6 in the morning. You know, I'm doing all the things that they're saying is going to bring this power of deliverance, until I heard God say to me one morning, get up. What are you doing? I love you regardless. Now get in that bed and go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like I heard those words. And so then when I got that and I felt this newness come, you know, over me, I called my goddad at that time and I said, look here, I have to say this. I'm gay and this is who I am and this is who God created me to be. And I don't know if this fits your idea of me being your praise and worship leader at your church and blase, blase. And of course it didn't. And it ended very ugly. And, you know, honestly, it was very traumatic on just how it ended, because you think for 9 years you built these relationships with people that knew, because don't tell me you didn't know, because you knew I wasn't dating no girls. I wasn't bringing no girls around. I wasn't saying I was involved in girls. I was telling, come on, you know what I'm saying? And
they
it was
discernment
just
won't
very
work.
traumatic. It was very traumatic. And so even with my grandmother, you know, she was living in the house with, and I remember when I brought my fiance over, I said, look, I'm going to bring my friend over because you live with me, so I'm not really asking you. I'm just kind of telling you. And then she was like, okay. And then, you know, walks in the door, is this fine ass man. And she like, a man. And I'm like, yeah. So I'm going through with it, and then, you know, she says to me one night after some months, and, you know, I feel like 2 years went past. It was hard for her to deal with it, and she said to me, you know what? I prayed and I toiled and I tossed and turned with it, and God said all I accepted you to do and put you on this earth to do was to love him unconditionally, not judge him, not place what you feel on him, but your one job is to love him. And she told me that. She said, and that's what changed her whole perspective on it. And so, yeah, but I go more into detail on my documentary. But yeah, mine was it was a little hard, but it helped me be who I am today. And that's why I built my platform on Conversation with K, because I believe we need to have the uncomfortable conversations. Because
Yes.
at the same time, I am excited for Generation Z and all those that was underneath us, but I'm a little worried too, because a lot of our generation has had these kids that ain't did the work and that ain't really trying to do the work. So they're
Facts.
really screwed. So we have to push platforms like this for the generations to understand that, look, it's a struggle, but you're more than what you're trying to live
You're more than
to
what you're
be
trying
right
to be.
now.
Right.
Amen.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, come on,
Amen.
Kay. Come on. Conversations with Kay.
You are more than your
Meech, and then we're
circumstances.
gonna go to Daddy, then we're gonna switch it up and we're gonna get ready to end in a few. So go ahead, Meech.
All right, for sure. So my coming out, actually I never came out to my family or my parents. Never verbalized it. I remember I was like, I remember the exact day that the Destiny Child, Destiny Fulfilled album came out.
Oh
And
yeah.
I was home by
Mhm.
myself and I was dating like this boy. I think we was in like 9th, 10th grade, 2003, 4. And we were just chilling at my house, just sitting on the bed, just listening to the album, dancing, talking, kissing and shit. And my aunt pulled up in the house. She had a key, obviously. And she saw us chilling there. She was like, "What y'all doing?" And I'm like, "Nothing, just chilling, me and my boy." I think I said me and my boy. And he looked at me like, "Did you just call me your boy, not your boyfriend?" And she peeped up and she caught that and she turned around and just walked back out the door. So like 90 minutes later, my parents come storming through the door like, "Who in this house? Who is here?" Da, da, da. So they sat me down like, "Are you gay? Or what's going on?" I'm like, "Listen, this is this person. This is me. And this is who I am today. I don't know if this is a phase. I don't know what's going on, but this is what it is." And they just was like, "Well, why would you want to do that? It's hard for gays in the world, especially you already black. Why would you want to be black and gay? Like it's already hard for you. Why would you want to do this? It's not safe. We live in we live on the south side of Columbus. You know they beat people up for that." I'm like, "Okay, but you know what I mean? I don't expect us to be lower middle class forever. Like I plan on being rich and being protected and being like out in the world. So like I ain't tripping." Naive me. So then fast forward to like maybe 5 years ago, me and my dad, I'm 29, about 28, about to be 29. And we finally sit down and have the conversation because I had a breakup at the time and it was a altercation. Let's just say that had happened.
Okay.
And he goes, I don't accept you being gay, but I love you as my son. So we go into a conversation of, well, why do you need to accept me being gay? Why can't you just accept me as your son? And then whatever come with it is what comes with it.
We'll come with it. Right.
And he was like, well, I was raised and that, gay was unacceptable. And I was like, well, who told you that? Like, where did you get it from? He's like, it's in the Bible. I'm like, well, it's not in the original Bible. It was put in the Bible. So like we start having that conversation of like all the things that have founded your opinion are because somebody forced that upon you. It's not because of that's actually how you feel. So I was just like, I don't really need you to accept homosexuality as my lifestyle. I just need you to be a good father.
Right.
Like I can figure out the homosexual stuff on my own. I just need you to, when I call you for parenting advice, or if I need a breakup, or I need a couch to lay on or a shoulder to cry on, I need you to be a parent. I don't necessarily need you to be God right now. He got me, or I wouldn't be here. So we started diving into that conversation. The good part about it is that he finally heard my perspective after from when I first told him when I was 13 to when I told him when I was 28. The sad part about it is that about a year after that, I made the decision that the type of father that he wanted to be was not the type of father that I could live with. Because I found myself always saying, why aren't you doing more? Why when I call you, you don't call back? Why when I text you, you don't respond? Why when I have a graduation party, you don't come? I kept saying, like, why am I holding on to this if this is not the father that I want to be? So that's what I take back to what I said earlier in the conversation. We have to accept people for who they are and who they want to be. He didn't want to be the type of father that I needed, not just wanted, the type of father that I needed. So I had to make a decision on my own to let him go. And if I see him at a family event, I have it. Unfortunately, that's kind of changed my perspective on relationships in total, not just as a parent son, but as boyfriends, friends, co-workers. I love you to death until you're not here no more, because I never know when somebody's expiration date is in my life. They may choose to go or I may choose to go. But I think the sad part about it is that we have to live with the reality that the people that's brought us into the world don't really want to see us at our best. They want to see us within their constraints are for our life. And I think that's a sad reality for us to have to succumb to, is that they love us as long as it's within that box that they placed before we was born. If we step outside that box, now the love is conditional. But it wasn't my condition that brought me into this world. I never laid down with another woman and had a baby, and then now I'm here. You laid down and made that decision. Now I'm forced to be here. I think that's the difference. What a lot of parents don't understand is that I'm only here because you made a decision. Rather, if you plan for it or not, my life is because you laid down and made a decision. And a lot of parents don't want to be accountable for that. Like my mom and dad feel like because I've made it to a certain point that they're entitled, or that they have ownership in what I built for myself. But you didn't put no work in.
No.
Where was you at when I struggled through college? Where was you at when I couldn't pay the rent? Where was you at when I went to my friends and my boyfriends for money to get through? That wasn't you. So like now that I'm here, you want to benefit from it, but you don't want the responsibility of the day-to-day responsibility that it takes to maintain a relationship with me. Right. And that's one thing I've had to experience with my parents, is that they want the benefit to say, yeah, my son went to college. My son went to the NBA. I mean, not the NBA, but he has an MBA. They want that benefit to be able to say that in front of family, but they don't really want the responsibility when I call them and need help, or I need a knowledge lesson, or I need to learn how to do something. They don't want the responsibility of being my parent, but they want the benefits of being my parent. So that's something I had to come to terms with, and that's a part of my trauma too. So I'm glad that we was all able to share these experiences today, because like, not only was a light lit in me to be like, damn, I'm not the only one. It also reassures me that there is the upside. You know what I mean? There is that other side to where you could just not just be at peace, but be excelling and be ascending in the world. So yeah, I'm so glad we was able to have this conversation tonight.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm ready to heat this up. First of all, I feel like the Black community is just terrible. I'm just gonna be honest, because first of all, you would rather old Grandpa Earl, who was touching on little girls, or Felicia, who had been pregnant 3 times before she was 15, but oh, God forbid I'm gay. God forbid I just naturally am who the fuck I am.
When he said "wake it up," he meant that.
Those words.
Look, he shut the motherfucking table. Real
I can't even sit in my seat still.
Look,
I can't
those
even sit
words,
in my seat still.
Those words, acceptance. That is so fucking triggering to me. The acceptance.
What do you need to accept?
I feel like you telling me that you accept me means that you tolerate me, and I don't want to be in spaces where I'm only tolerated, because I've experienced spaces where people actually love me and want me to be there. I don't have to subject myself to tolerance. I am made in His image. I am a king. I will not subject myself to tolerance. Absolutely not. The concept of coming out, I really hope and pray that one day we defund it. Because why do I need to come out to you? Did you come out? Did you gather the family around and say, hey guys, I just want to tell y'all, I like girls. No one gave
I didn't. I didn't feel like I owed them nothing.
No one cared, because that's just who you naturally were. What I like is just who I naturally was. I don't feel like I should have to gather the masses and gather the church and gather everybody to make no fucking announcement that I'm gay. This is just who I am and what I like. I came out on Facebook. Sure did. I was, when I was in high school, I had a boyfriend. And by the time I left high school, I got kicked out of the high school, so I went to another high school. Then I went off to college a little bit. And by the time I came back
I moved chain.
I told y'all I was a menace. Like, y'all, God is so graceful. He's so merciful. Like God is so good to me. And like just from the places that's why when people be talking to me now in my adult life, we talking about fighting and all this extra stuff. Like, girl, I will kill you. Like you don't let the
I ain't scared of you. I'm scared of me.
Yeah, like exactly. Like I'm scared of what I will do to you, bitch. I will unleash all this trauma, all the rest of the trauma in my suitcase. I will unleash on you, bitch. But no, I
gonna
moved
get
to
that Will
Atlanta.
Smith slap for everybody.
Okay, I moved to Atlanta, and I moved my high school boyfriend. We reconnected, and I moved him here with me to Atlanta. At this point, I'm talking about I'm in love. You know what I'm saying? This is my first love. And I'm in love. I'm grown. I have my own things, whatever. So now I'm like, oh, I'm going to put on Facebook that I'm in a relationship with him. Mind you, at the time, I was dealing with men and women. So me professing my love, I had never done that for a female. It was for him. I put it on Facebook. Boom. In a relationship with Tito Chisholm. Oh, God, it was in shambles. I'm talking about the girls I used to fuck with. They in my inbox. What the fuck? Da, 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 da. My mom. So apparently somebody screenshotted it and sent it to my mama. My mama called me.
The messiness.
Yeah. And I definitely went on. I definitely went on Facebook to say, "Girl, okay, y'all screenshotted and sent a screenshot to my mama. Like, what's she gonna do? Ground me? I am grown. I'm grown.
That's hard.
I have my own house, my own everything. I have got it out the mud and got it for myself. So when my mama called me, and she was like, oh yeah, they saying about you put this on Facebook. Da, da, da. I was like, well, yeah, I did. I'm in a relationship with him. Oh well, I don't just see like y'all just always want to share everything and just tell everything. Y'all could just keep some stuff to yourself. I said, well, did you keep the love for my daddy to yourself? Did you keep your marriage to yourself? Did you keep your relationship with it? No, you didn't. Why would I hide in the shadows? Why would I hide in the shadows and you be so comfortable to live in the light? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. That's counterproductive to me and who I am as a person. I know I'm gay. I'm not trying to convince you that I'm gay. I know I am. I like boys, baby. I like boys. So what we gonna do here? I like boys.
Weigh your
I'm
options.
not going to.
You got to put the ball in their court. So now what? So what now?
Since then, and I do, and I want to piggyback off of what Amit said about our parents wanting some type of, I guess, acknowledgement or oh yeah, oh wow, I did that, girl. You know you didn't. No, you didn't.
Yes,
my mama. I promise you, when me and my mother was having this conversation last week, and she had said something along the lines of, oh, well, I've always accepted you and I never judge you, or what you do for a living. I said, Mom, let's be honest. Let's be honest. And I think that is what I got from the conversation. In that conversation, I was able to say a lot of things that I've always wanted to say. So I will take that positive out of that because I had never had the conversation with her. So getting it off my chest and being able to say, hey, I did have that conversation has done something for me. So I take what I said that it didn't back. But I told her, I'm like, well, Mom, let's be serious. When I go home, my mama tells everybody and their mama and anybody who will listen that I do porn. I'm talking about like she will literally make it a dinner table conversation. But it's to her, and when she said it, she's like, yeah, I never say anything about what you do for a living. I said, Mom, let's be honest. If I wasn't able to pay your bills, if I wasn't able to help you do this and help you do that, send you money, buy you this, you would definitely be popping shit about me doing porn. We're not going to stop.
They want the benefits, not the responsibility.
But she was sick, and I'm talking about like clockwork. Yeah, girl. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he don't work nowhere. Mm-hmm. He be flying everywhere. He be getting paid. Yeah, child. Mm-hmm. Look, see, that's a picture from one of his photos. Mm-hmm, child. Mm-hmm. Tell him what you do for. And it's just like
they love a conversation piece.
It's like, girl, first of all, you so fucking fake. You know good and goddamn well. You know good and goddamn well this is not a conversation that you would be having if I was not able to be there for you or for you to be able to boast about your child being successful at something.
Period.
So yeah, that's my thing. As far as the coming out thing, we definitely need to debunk that. Granddaddy Earl, you low down. Benicia, stop laying around with all these men. Y'all need to be focused on the real thing at hand instead of something that me being gay or me being attracted to other males is not no way, shape, or form. It is not affecting you at all. It's not affecting
or a reflection of you.
That
Why?
part.
Why
It has
should? Why
nothing to
should?
do with them. I think a lot of parents try to take it on like their child being gay means something about their parenting or something about who they are. It is not about you. It is about the
No.
kid.
The kid.
And I
the
hate that people jump to the Bible when it comes to this. Not only because someone's saying that, oh, this was added to the Bible, whatever. But again, people try to what's the word? People try to pick and choose pieces of the Bible that they want to
Absolutely.
That they want to
go
live
with.
Well,
by.
That they so damn that
sexuality was
I'm
never in the
so
Bible.
steadfast on this
Very
scripture because
true.
that scripture said that. But girl, you just lied to this lady face and fucked her husband yesterday. Like, what are you talking about?
We
I
have
can't
to
stand
acknowledge
no
that
I can't
homosexuality
I
was
can't
never in the
stand a
Bible.
hypocrite. I can't stand a hypocrite. I can't stand a black homophobe
But
because
the
we already
reason
are
why is
part
because they
of a
got
demonized
skeletons in their
group.
closet.
And now you have the audacity. It was a time you have the audacity to fight against gay rights when just not too fucking long ago we were fighting for our own rights.
Right.
And you have the audacity to be that person. I never understood the thing hurt people. I think it's asinine because if I'm homeless, wouldn't I not want my child to be homeless? If I went through this, why would I want my child? That's what I'm saying. These people are traumatized and don't know it. But I applaud everybody on this panel for, like, again, having y'all
And
suitcases
some
wide
of them know
open,
it.
folded them clothes and them Levi's up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I applaud it because in order to the first step of getting to a resolution is acknowledging that there's an issue to solve in the first place. So I applaud everybody on this panel.
And like Nick said, creating that plan.
This is one of my favorite topics, and I live for all y'all. No shade.
Yes, most definitely. I definitely appreciate everybody coming on here. I posted stuff and you guys was just willing, like, yes, I want to talk about it. So I definitely appreciate each and every one of y'all
For sure.
just for coming on here. Like you said, it's a lot of things that we don't talk about. It's a lot of things that are swept under the rug. It's of course Pride Month. We have different things. We all have similar stories, different stories, etc.
But the same story.
We all share something in common. Like, we all just listen to everybody. We all share something in common. We all want to be free. We all have freed ourselves in certain aspects. We all are still healing in certain aspects. We all have experienced some of the same traumas, different traumas, and we all can relate to each other. So I definitely appreciate that. It was just a conversation that just really needed to be had. I'm glad. Hopefully,
So we should do it again.
Yeah, we definitely do it again. And just all get together. At some point in life, majority of us stay here. Kay, when you come to Atlanta, hit me up.
Yes, let's have a link up.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm always down to get to know people and just to get, no matter what you do, who you are, I'm always down to, just build different bonds or whatever. So I really do appreciate y'all just for coming on, just sharing this with me tonight or whatever. And I just appreciate. So my hat's off to y'all. Kudos to y'all. Before we close, if you guys want to say any last minute things, I'll open the floor to you guys, and then I'll go ahead and I'll close out.
First, I just want to say to Keon, thank you for being a consistent friend to me, and also thank you for having this platform, because not only is it valuable to us being able to share our story, it's valuable to people to able to listen in real time, and people to able to go back to and listen in a couple of days when they catch the feed. So thank you for hosting. Thank you for allowing us to participate. And then I hope that, we can have these conversations, not just with social media, but in our everyday lives. And when we're tossing with our friends, we're texting with our friends, meeting up for drinks or happy hour, let's just make this a regular conversation of healing, trauma, accountability. Make that a normal part of conversation, especially in our lifestyle when we're so much counted out. You know what I mean? Sometimes we're the lowest on the totem pole at work or wherever. So let's just create a brotherhood. That's why one of the things I want to talk about is a brotherhood. Healing, trauma, and accountability is so impacted by brotherhood. Even if you don't come from the exact same experience, just having someone you can relate to and depend on is such needed in our community. So that's the things I wanted to point out. But yes,
you also want to be careful not to trauma bond.
Yeah, you don't want to build a relationship on trauma, but I definitely think it's a mutual beneficial relationship if the foundation is set up correctly. Yeah, if the foundation is set up correctly, yeah, for sure.
definitely I want to say hat off to you, Keon. Thank you for making this opportunity and putting this conversation on the platform. It's very inspiring, and like I said, it's been on my notes to roll out with my episode. So I'm gonna bring you on over to my platform. Matter of fact, I'm gonna be in all y'all inboxes, in that way. Because I feel like, this is something that we need more of. And I mean, contrary to popular belief, they say gay people aren't anointed, nor are they called, nor are they appointed. But I see a lot of kings in this room that have set the tone for this generation to have examples to look up to, in spite of what we do in our lives. We are now setting a tone for somebody to come to for content to get healing from. And so I pray over all of everything that y'all do and every single one of y'all that everything is prosperous. I thank y'all that, from this, that we build connections from it. I know we always be like, I ain't into meeting new people and bringing nobody in, but I felt great energy out of every man that was on this panel. And so I'm excited for what the future holds for us as a Black gay men community.
Yes.
Just thank y'all. And, follow me on all the platforms. And I'm going to follow all y'all. And I'm going to definitely be reaching out because we need more of this.
And I appreciate you, Keon, for hosting this panel and also inviting me. You invited me before and you invited me again. I feel like sometimes, a lot of the times, people feel like adult entertainers are, I guess, stupid or something like that, or we don't have anything to say, or we don't have anything to add or any input to add. They also, some people would also feel like, just like when Kay saying about people being anointed, people would think that maybe, because I do porno, my line of work, that I'm not baby. I'm very much covered. I'm very much stripped. I'm very much stripped.
Yes.
You're business minded, so
I appreciate you for giving me the opportunity to speak and let everyone hear what I have to say. Giving me a platform to for people to hear what I'm saying instead of watching me in action.
I mean, even though like that, don't get me wrong. Yeah.
I can't.
Wait, what did you say? It went out.
I just want to say, I was like, even though they like to see you in action, even though they do like that, to be fair. But anyway, I mean the video. I mean, to be fair, give credit where credit is due. The videos are dope. I've been a fan.
I haven't seen the video.
So kudos to you. I've been a fan.
Look at this one about how come I ain't never seen these videos?
Look, you gotta go find them. Okay.
Look, child.
Keon, you ain't told me. You ain't put me on.
Look, boy, they had a time last night.
They had a time last night.
Get me off here now.
Last night.
But no, I wanted to just say, Keon, thank you so much for this opportunity. I mean, for me, this is kind of new for me because everyone has always been like, oh, share your story, because it's made me strong. It's made me who the person I am today, a lot stronger, strong-minded, and it's given me a different outlook on life. And I love to advocate with young people because I've noticed that a lot of young people now are dealing with so much mental illness. Yes. They don't have the outlet to talk about it because they're nervous, or they don't have a good support system, or people judge them. Like kind of my story too, where I wasn't really afraid people judging me, but my biggest thing was people will look at me, see what I live in, see what I drive, and they put a label on me. They say, oh, like, I don't think you're going to do that. Like, you look fine, but that's the thing. I look fine. It's called not putting on a facade, but it's about just being strong. It's about, your parents have taught you to, the train still moves despite what you have going on. Like, the train doesn't stop, So I just wanted to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to really talk about the issues that I have, and let everybody know that it's okay to go through things. Like, you get through it. There's light at the end of the tunnel. So, but thank you for that.
Yes.
Because I really, really appreciate it. And also I wanted to say, Zaddy, that I think that I applaud you for giving your story, because I think for someone that watches, looks at your content, but I know that it's deeper than that. And I think that everybody, there's
a person behind that.
Yes. And they just look at you, oh, he just does videos. But for me, having discernment, I knew that it's deeper than just the videos. but everybody can't say that, you know. But I'm saying, like, I just appreciate you for getting on here and like actually letting people know that there's layers to you. And I think that for me, I didn't know. Like, so I look at you a lot differently now because I'm being on the panel with you and hearing your story. It's like, wow, like I knew that it was deeper than just the content, but hearing it, you have a story that everybody needs to be like, you know, take heed to that. Like, don't take it lightly. Like, okay, yeah, watch my videos, but it's deeper than that. So I really appreciate that, you know, being a huge content creator in this world. I appreciate you for, you know, speaking your mind about what you have going on.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. It's been a lot. And I applaud everybody up here for everyone's bravery being able to because speaking about our traumas and, you know, just things that has happened years ago, you know, it could potentially unlock certain triggers that we're not even realizing that still bother us or that might still affect us. But being able to be in a realm of, you know what, this is my story, this is my truth. And this is, again, that's that active dealing with. I can talk about it. I can speak about it because I'm going through it. And like I said, as far as with my mother or whatever, no one will ever be able to tell my truth or share my story or change the narrative of my story. I'm always going to share my story. I'm always going to share it because it's what I went through and it's what shaped me to be me. And it's what shaped you guys to be y'all. So I applaud everybody for y'all's bravery.
Most definitely. AJ?
And I just want to say thank you, Keon. Because ultimately it was different stories, and I feel like everybody told their story, and I feel like we touched a few people tonight. And honestly, I feel like the inclusiveness of it all was amazing to me. And I feel like this is what our community desperately needs: a panel where we don't talk about celebrities or this and the third. We talk about our own personal stories where people can actually benefit from and take away from and actually take it and put it inside their lives. So I do appreciate this panel, and I do salute all of you guys because you didn't have to share it, but you did in a way that you got my utmost respect. And I hope and pray that everything that your heart desires, y'all get. Keep striving to be great.
I receive.
I want to say to Daddy, I want to piggyback off what Nick said because, you know, just seeing your videos and you look at a person a certain type of way, and it goes back to judging a book by its cover. You know what I'm saying? By just what you look at or just by what you see, but you don't never really just open a book and start with the first page to know, hey, or you don't look at the table of contents of this person or this book. You get what I'm saying? So just from the first conversation when you was on the platform with me before and what we talked about then, and actually opened up different layers from talking to you now, it definitely opens up. And I do look at you different because, you know, you get labeled, and I know people label you or put you in this certain category all the time, and it's like, damn, this person is really smart, this person is really dope, but you only get, I'm not gonna say what you put out, but that's what the world see. You get what I'm saying? That's the majority of what people see.
That's why I've always
they don't
said
get
that
to know you as you. They get to know what they want from you. You get what I'm saying?
That's why I've always said that people's perception is not my reality. And so, like, as far as what people perceive, you know what I'm saying? Like, me personally, I don't mind people having that perception, because if indeed you do want to get to know me, you will. If you are meant to be in my life, God will lead you a journey onto me, and we will kick it and kiki, and then you will see that I'm kind of smart. I curse a little, you know.
just a little.
I got a brain.
Yeah. I most definitely received that. And then for Meech, you know, me and Meech, we're kind of new friends. We met through a mutual friend or whatever, but just getting to know him on a different level. And we kind of talk throughout the day or whatever like that, but it's like getting to know him on a different type of level as well. So this conversation really just opened up like different doors and different layers of people. Nick, I mean, I've seen you on social media, so I would definitely love to get to know you. AJ,
Yeah.
I don't know how me and you came on social media, but I think you just responded to the post that I posted up. And then Kay, I see you just from social media and stuff like that. So I definitely would love to like kind of get to know each and every one of you guys, outside of like the content that we put out and stuff like that. So everybody is dope. Once again, I do appreciate everybody for just coming on. Like you said, the bravery of just sharing life, letting people in rather. I just appreciate it. Everything was just definitely dope. So I always go back and watch and just kind of like put snippets and stuff. But I will say tonight, I don't know how I'm gonna put all of this into 1 minute, but it definitely was dope. I really do appreciate it. And I really hope everybody who was watching, who popped in, who popped out, who will watch the replays, I hope they really do learn from what we put out in the atmosphere tonight and what we put in the universe, because it was something that definitely needed to be had. It was most definitely need to be had.
Shout out to everybody watching, man. Appreciate it.
Yes. So I do appreciate y'all. I'm gonna close out for me. If you guys want to just watch the closing, that's fine. I definitely appreciate you guys. So thank you for just coming on. And this is just the only beginning. I will be inviting you guys to just different things, different topics. I know more topics that will come up. You guys will be probably interested in or can relate to. Kay, I'm waiting for my invite because I'm definitely.
I got you. Matter of fact, all y'all, and I know some of y'all got followers, so let's make
it. Let me say this on the followers tip. It really don't matter about the followers. I learned that because I have lost the Instagram or lost the account that had many followers. But somebody said this earlier: if you can touch at least one person who is watching, I don't care if it's 500 people watching, if it's 20 people watching, or if it's 2 people watching. If you can change somebody's life, that's what matters. You know what I'm saying? Because if you have 22K on Instagram, majority of them people are probably just watching. They're not really just looking like they're not important. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely
I just said that to say make sure y'all add me back, because I don't want to be
we got you.
You know what I mean?
We got you.
So I'm trying to definitely bring all you guys on my platform.
Yeah, and I will be watching. I need to do better with just watching different content creators. Like I kind of look at to different things or whatever, but it's just like sometimes all of it blend in together. Like everybody is kind of like pretty much doing the same thing. So I try my best to kind of put a twist to my content because I get ratchet, and for those who know me outside of like
you ratchet as hell.
I love to have fun, but also too I love to put on and make sure that I do share some positivity into the life, into the world. So thank y'all once again. I'm gonna put y'all off for a minute. I'm gonna close out a little bit. And if y'all want to watch, y'all can, and I will be reaching out to all y'all. Okay. So thank you once again. Thank y'all once again. Thank you once again.
Appreciate everybody.
Yes, most definitely a good conversation tonight. For those who have been watching, thank y'all so much for all the support. Those who sent things through the Cash App, I haven't looked at my phone yet, so I don't know who have sent things through the Cash App, but those who are constantly sending things through the PO box, thank you so much. Tonight was dope. Tonight was good. I always say that it's elevation. We've been on here 2 hours, Lord. I know some of y'all got to go to work tomorrow, so thank y'all so much. Once again to the dope panelists that was on. I will be live again on Thursday with Craig, so I will see y'all on Thursday. Make sure y'all tune in. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and comment, and hit the notification bell. So whenever I go live, you will see me. So until next time, I will see y'all soon. Bye.
What's up, y'all? Your boy is back. Guess what, y'all? I am coming back to your TV screen, your computer screen, or whatever goddamn screen you be watching me on. Make sure you subscribe to my channel at The Real KeonStafford. Cause baby, I got some old nasty exclusive content coming for y'all this year, baby. So make sure you catch me live weekly. That's 9 p.m. weekly, y'all. So hit that like, hit that share, and hit that subscribe button. All at The Real KeonStafford. And while you at it, follow me on all social platforms at The Real KeonStafford. Like I said again, your boy is back. So y'all know when y'all with me, we gonna laugh, cry, talk shit, and have some fun. So see y'all soon. Bye.